Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So time to rave a little bit about my disappointment at our culture. So a year and a half ago, when Putin first invaded Ukraine, I was living in Seattle, Washington. Gas prices had hit, I think, $7 a gallon. And I kind of got a little bit excited. At the time, I didn't have a very long commute. I was living out of my car, actually. I could have left my car on campus and pretty much just hunkered down and not drive anywhere. So it didn't really affect me all that much. Um, but I thought for sure people would drive a whole lot less aggressively. One of my biggest pet peeves is that sometimes I'm getting ready to record a Peter Dislike show, or I'm out stargazing or viewing scenery, and somebody decides they need to idle their car. It's March, April in Seattle. It might be 70 degrees out there, or somebody might be at the store. They really could go out, walk into the store for a quick walk, but they decide to sit in their car and idle their car. And I thought $7 a gallon gas would put an end to that. And I thought that we could finally go back to driving 55 miles an hour again. I'm not a very fast driver. I hate driving fast. I really thought that was the end of it. I had gone to my favorite grocery store and food prices had doubled over the course of a few months. I thought this is it. Nobody could afford to have a binge eating disorder anymore. And not that I would care about other people's eating disorders, but I was grappling with my own binge eating problems and returning to the office and seeing people take big bites out of their food was just not very conducive to my own recovery. It's kind of like you quit drinking, but you continue to go to the bars just to tell jokes to people. That would not work very well, right? Unfortunately, I was forced to go out to the bar every day just to make a living, even though I had quit drinking, right? You can think of it as the equivalent of that. And now I see beer prices go up by double, and I got excited. Unfortunately, everybody continued to drink. That's unfortunate. Now, the other day when I went to pay my car insurance bill, it had gone up quite a bit. I haven't had any bad driving or anything, but the whole industry, the prices have gone up quite a bit. And that got me a little bit excited because now that car insurance prices are up, nobody wants to get into an accident and make the prices go up even more, right? And it got me thinking maybe the roads will become a little bit safer. But then I remembered the other times that I've been disappointed when I thought in this regard, right? It's kind of funny, my own driving experience. I haven't had an at fault accident for over 7 years now, and I know why. I've been driving a whole lot more conservatively. It's kind of funny, actually. I had a girlfriend for some time just before the pandemic, and I drove a lot more cautious. She was many years my junior, and she'd be in the car, and I drive a heck of a lot more conservatively. I used to have a big problem with daydreaming when I'm driving. I'll be driving down the road and thinking about how I'm going to talk to my boss today. I'll be driving down the road and strategizing something I need to do, right? And before I know it, traffic would slow down or something like that. That's how I got into two major car accidents that I got into. Now, my girlfriend and I broke up just shortly after the pandemic, but then not long after that, Let's Go Brandon was threatening to inject us with this poison that he had pushed for. And I was worried that if I got myself incapacitated in a car accident, they would inject me with that crap. You know, every time I've gotten myself injured, especially when I was working on my PhD, I got into a number of scrapes on my bicycle and all that. The school, when they would come by with their medical team, would always push me to get myself injected with this poison for tetanus, obviously. But now, 15 years later, now we've introduced quite a few other more poisons that they want to inject into us, right? And so I haven't taken any of that stuff for 20 some years, and I don't intend to. Anyway, so as a result, I drove a heck of a lot more conservatively. Lately, ever since I started making art. I keep a lot of it in my car because I got art shows to go to. I definitely don't want any of that damaged, right? It's kind of funny the things that have inspired me to drive a whole lot more carefully when I really should have been doing it all along, right? But I saw my insurance bill go up even without getting into any sort of accident. Oh my God, now I really can't get into an accident and make it go up even more than it needs to go up, right? And I thought other people would think that way. Unfortunately, not so much, right? It makes you wonder just how badly people are hurting, right? If you can afford to binge eat, if you can afford to rev your car on the street, right? Don't tell me how bad inflation is yet, right? Maybe we could use a little bit of inflation. Maybe not, but at the same time, don't tell me that your kids are starving because of inflation. Until you correct the binge eating and the idling your car, if your kids are starving, they're starving because you're doing those things, right? Worry about the inflation second, but do what you can do first, right? This is the Meter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.